Hello guys, welcome to another episode of the Totally Uncensored podcast, where we pick stories that have public interest and I give my take on that. So yesterday things did not go well. Usiku when we were sleeping, when others were sleeping, tulisikia kwamba people wa Kibra have been attacked. A church and a mosque was set on fire. And all these things ni incitement to, they are trying just to incite tribes against each other. And I want to remind you that 2007 pia ilianza hivi. The moment you start burning down churches, there's no turning back. And I want to talk about a few things. The first is the likes of Kimani Ichung'wah, Cecil Mbarire, Ketu Waruguru, Moses Kuria have been trying and advising the president to arrest Uhuru Kenyatta. Now let me take you back. In 2002, President Mwai Kibaki told a confidant that when he became the president, people closer to him pushed him to arrest Daniel Arap Moi. According to him, those people wanted him to take away his property and land and make him poor and take him to prison. But Kibaki refused. I think he was wise, because if angefanya hivyo, then term yake ishi, pia yeye angeface the same thing. Uhuru na Gideon wangeungana, they would have avenged Mzee Moi. So Kibaki was wise, but the current boys in power are about to make a mistake which they might regret the rest of their lives. And I think William Ruto should go through the Bible he reads and be wise and avoid the push closer the closer to him, including Rigiji, are pushing him to do so. Remember, power comes and goes. On Sunday and yesterday, we saw to some extent police brutality, and I just want to single out IG Koome. After the 2017 general elections, according to the IPOA, Kenya police killed 67 pro-Raila protesters, and at least 33 people were killed in Nairobi alone. And remember, at that time, Japhet Koome was the Nairobi County Commander then. It just goes to show that he has never respected, to some extent, the rights of the people. To the extent that he and Kindiki they want to change the Bill of Rights. So this government does not know how to deal with the protesters. Sifuna said that the only way protests itaenda chini is two things. It said that the government or Mr. Ruto goes down, or the price or the cost of living goes down. One is impossible. So I think it's now time for us to try and ask for dialogue between Ruto and the Kenyans, kwa sababu imagine all those 6 months wamekuwa kiblame the government, the previous government led by Uhuru Kenyatta. Imagine your wife always anafanya dhambi na nakuambia and tries to compare you with na ex. How will you feel? It's up to the president to come and realize that yesterday's protest, there were more women, meaning that the cost of living is high. Na mwanamke na najuanga budget ya nyumba, and when you see women kwa protest, just know things are bad. And another thing is, I want to ask the government not to weaponize their police services they claim. I know that we no longer have a police service, but all we have is a police force. But I want to ask the government, we should not weaponize the police, kwa sababu what we saw yesterday, police officers forcing journalists to delete what they have covered, and also disrupting peaceful protest. I can tell you for sure that, for example, angalia Kisumu, Anyang' Nyong'o did his best na no property was distracted. Now mnakuja na tear gas, and you know Kenyans, the moment unakuja na tear gas, everyone in Kenya is a lawyer. So it's now time for the police also to sit down and know kwamba wanafanya mistakes. And another thing is Raila Odinga's maandamano yesterday exposed the type of leaders we voted for. The regime that hides behind the church was exposed yesterday. And I think if Azimio was to push a little bit more, you will realize that the guys at the helm of the power are goons. Imagine mobilizing. No man in Kenya has the guts to go and attack the property of the former president. And 2 or 3 hours later, the government has not responded. Inamaanisha, and remember on Sunday, Itumbi and Didmas Baraza, Kimani Ichung'wah, wote walikuwa they posted Northlands. So this is very extreme. It's very extreme. The president aliretire, ako vacation Dubai na familia yake. Let's not personalize things like sending goons to attack the East Africa Spectre Rao. Let's not personalize things. Where are the police when Kibra jana watu walikuwa wamewasha moto? And you want to tell me that mkisikia maandamano mnakuja. Now imagine telling me to plant trees and at the same time cutting trees. Telling me or telling us that bandits wanafanya illegal works. At the same time unatuonyesha kwamba banditry is legal. People stealing goats na sheep from Uhuru's property. And police wajasema kitu. That explains why bandits wameshinda police, kwa sababu maybe to some extent they are being funded by the politicians. Imagine, ilikuwa ni shame. Our image at the international stage imeharibiwa hivyo. And let's leave the president alone. And I want to ask the Kikuyus. If Kikuyus have attacked Uhuru Kenyatta and Kalenjins have not invaded Gideon Moi, who are both in Azimio la Umoja, then Mount Kenya people should think twice. And I want to tell you, Deputy Rigathi Gachagua is being used. Na kuna kitu inaitwa divide and conquer. Itafika 2027, William Ruto will not need Gachagua anymore. What will you do? Utaanza kulia, used. And I want to ask, who told Kenyans that every deputy president is a must succeed the president? So kwa hiyo kichwa Gachagua pia he has started implementing his own laws that when he becomes the president atafanya. Who told Kenyans that after every 10 years the deputy should succeed the president? I think it's now time for us to dispute that notion and pia hiyo opuzia Mount Kenya. We need to stop it. It's now time. Now here's my take. It's now time for Ruto and Raila to come sit down and solve the problems before it's too late, because on Thursday kutakuwa kubaya. Then let's say after 3 weeks, sikudanganyi, Kenya will be submerged into a civil war and no one will be able to stop the war. So I can only tell you that it's going to be hard. It's going to be very problematic for us to recover. You remember what happened in 2008? And the moment we start burning churches, God is watching. Bye. I hope you've enjoyed the episode and remember to follow me on Spotify. Bye.